It's the story of a poor boy. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
And this is the third time I've tried to start this. Thanks, Riley. It's been a horrendously busy week for Liverpool. We're just getting to it now. The day before the Chelsea game.
It's been a brilliant week for Liverpool.
It really has been a tremendous week so far. That run of 7 games is all of a sudden looking a lot nicer than it was at the start of it. No one who was apparently scared about it should be anymore. Those of us who were excited about it were rightly so.
Still are,
yep. So there's 4 games left of it. But let's go right back to last Tuesday and talk about Liverpool versus Paris Saint-Germain.
Boss won it.
It was...
What a way to win a game. I know we'll talk about the game and we'll talk about all the goals, but what a way to win the game. Like in the last minute. Yeah.
It's one of the best group stage matches I can ever remember.
It's the best I've been to.
Oh, definitely.
For sure. The atmosphere was just incredible. It felt like a knockout game.
Yeah.
The crowd was up for it. The players were up for it. And then again, winning in the 91st minute like that, knocking Thomas Tuchel out again in the 91st minute, he must fucking hate it. He must not like Anfield.
Yeah, I mean, his comments afterwards said to that effect, didn't they? Liverpool were the better team by a mile. 3-2 really does flatter PSG.
Definitely.
At 2-0, it could have went on to 4 or 5. And we just kind of took our foot off the pedal a little bit, allowed them to get back into the game through an albeit offside goal. It's a really, really good finish from Meunier, and then Mbappe strikes what we all believed was the killer blow in terms of putting a dampener on the night.
Yeah,
taking a bit of the wind out of our sails, and then Roberto Firmino comes on, scores with one eye,
does his thing. What a guy!
What a fella! What a night! It had the group. It didn't have a group stage feel to it at all. It felt very much like we just carried on from Roma.
Yeah.
Last year.
And it felt like the thing with PSG is because they're so new on the scene, I guess.
Yeah.
Of wanting to be a European heavyweight. I feel like that made our players and our fans a little bit more up for the night. Obviously, you don't need more encouragement for a Champions League game, but just to show PSG what a proper European night is, and that they're no one really. I think our players and our fans really looked forward to that opportunity and made the most of it.
Well, yeah. The thing is, and I always go back to it whenever I'm talking about Liverpool in Europe, I always end up talking about Brendan Rodgers when Liverpool play Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And Real Madrid come to Anfield and they win 3-0 and they don't get out of second gear. There are fans sitting there taking pictures of Cristiano Ronaldo. I remember being particularly impressed with Isco that night as well, because he just had the freedom of Anfield to do what he wanted. And it was kind of like Liverpool just went, all right, Real Madrid are really good here, so we're just going to roll out the red carpet for them. We're not really going to have a chance of winning this game.
We're welcoming these European heavyweights into Anfield. And hopefully we can make it difficult for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Liverpool's gone.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a new... well, it's not new. It's bringing back a very old style from Liverpool. It's the bastardry element of it in Europe. It is, we are Liverpool. You will not fucking beat us unless you are incredible. And... I mean, fair play to Jurgen Klopp for bringing that feeling back. Fair play to the players for embracing it as well.
Yep.
Because it's one thing saying Anfield's a fortress. It's a very different thing actually making Anfield a fortress. And that's what they've done. Virgil van Dijk was absolutely incredible yet again.
So good. I was really confused by the amount of time that they let him have on the ball and just the amount of passes that he got through to Trent.
Yeah.
I don't know why they weren't marking Trent or trying to close down that channel or what, but that must have been like the most passes in the game to a specific player from a specific player. I don't have the stats on me, but I'm putting it down there. That's it. It's Virgil van Dijk to Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I mean, there wasn't a single player really you'd look at and say they have had a bad game in this game.
No.
I mean, maybe Sturridge is a bit quiet, but Jurgen Klopp afterwards. Yeah, exactly. And Jurgen Klopp says afterwards he's very happy with him.
Yeah.
Sturridge has never been fit while he's been in charge, which is a massive compliment to Danny Sturridge. We all know his injury record isn't the best, but it is such an important goal to get it when he does. It's a great header from a great cross.
Yeah.
As Robbo said himself, he couldn't miss. So, it's unbelievably Daniel Sturridge's first start in the Champions League for Liverpool. His last start in the Champions League was for Chelsea back in 2012.
Fucking hell.
Which is just mind-blowing, really, isn't it? And you can think back now and you realise just how...
Oh yeah, I believe you.
Yeah, how unlucky Daniel Sturridge has been, really.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
It really is. I feel really bad for the fella, to be fair,
definitely.
It just goes to show Daniel Sturridge might well be one of the most unlucky footballers that there is, because he's missed he's missed last season because he couldn't get the fitness together while we were out of the Champions League. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I feel very sorry for the guy.
Definitely.
But from there, from the Sturridge goal, we get a penalty through Wijnaldum.
Yeah, we quickly make it 2-0.
Yeah.
Don't we?
It's a great penalty. It's a very clear penalty as well. I don't even know what they were thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Germain Wijnaldum was just putting himself in the right positions again. And there was no way that wasn't going to be a penalty.
It was basically Liverpool just basically went, right, okay, well, we've got one here, and we're just gonna keep going.
Yeah.
And once we're happy with the scoreline, then we'll let you play again. But until then, no. And it's a credit to Liverpool that, I mean, there's not really much to talk about with a penalty, but it's a credit to Liverpool that down the other end, we don't see much from Neymar at all. We don't see much from Mbappe. We don't see much from Cavani either.
I think
Neymar had flashes.
Yeah.
There's one moment in particular where I'd say about 5 minutes into the game, he skimmed 4 people, and I turned around and went, "He's fucking good, him. He's so good, him." And then that was it. And then Milner puts him into the stands, and he's. I mean, I'm sure we'll feel some kind of backlash from Neymar when we come to Paris, playing in Paris. I'm sure. Well, that's what he'll be saying anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Mbappe's kept quiet for most of the game as well. Cavani, I was really expecting more from him, but what it came down to really was that our midfield was better.
That's what I was going to say. I think us being so defensively sound for the first half at least was down to the midfield being so good. They won that battle. We defended really, really narrow, and we forced them wide. And then they had to cross the ball in to Cavani, to Mbappe. But Virgil van Dijk and Joe Gomez won everything.
Yep.
And that was the game plan, and it worked perfectly.
It really did.
And I'm convinced, again, that Germain Wijnaldum was the best player on the pitch. He was just absolutely everywhere, yet again. And I'm going to say it for the Southampton game as well, spoilers.
I mean, Wijnaldum was an interesting one because I thought he was incredible against PSG, but, I mean, my man of the match, I mean, skipping ahead a little bit there, but my man of the match was Jordan Henderson.
Yeah.
I thought he was absolutely incredible. He won so many tackles. He was spreading the ball as you come to expect from him. Getting Liverpool on the front foot very quickly, getting in amongst them, and making sure that there was no point there where Neymar just had a clear run at the defence.
We can't forget how good James Milner was as well.
Of course.
I seem to remember he did a really good last-ditch sliding tackle on Neymar to just knock it off his pace a little bit. And allow Van Dijk to clear, I think it was. And
he wins the ball back off of Mbappe to set up the third and final.
He does, yeah.
I mean, when Firmino gets the ball there, I was not expecting that from him at all. He's normally a bit more delicate than that. He's normally going for the chip to the back post there, I think.
Yeah, well, he's selfless, isn't he?
Yeah, and when there's one extra touch he takes on his right foot where he just pushes the ball out of his feet, away from the defender, and straight away from there, you're just like, he's got a clear run of goal there.
He's got that extra yard.
Yeah. Ping, straight in the bottom corner. He's off to the corner, covering his eye. We're all in absolute raptures.
The celebrations are absolutely mad. I was up in the gods in the main stand because of some Auto Cup
Shenanigans.
fucking up debacle again.
Yeah.
But even up there, it was just ridiculous. There's a French guy behind me giving a big punch on the arm.
You'll be glad to know your seat was empty next to us in the car.
I'm glad you enjoyed the room.
Oh, I did. It was lovely. It was still as warm as I've ever been in a football ground, I think. It's up there. It's right up there. But yeah, I mean, what a game. What a result. Puts Liverpool top of the group. Which, we can't really... you can't take much from it at this point in the group. But
with Napoli drawing with Red Star Belgrade.
And Carlo Ancelotti's already give a little hint to the other three teams in the other two teams in the group, saying that they're clever, they know what they're doing. They're playing for fouls a lot of the time and getting them off of the referee. I mean, we'll take each game as it comes.
Oh, definitely. I think the aim has to be to beat Napoli twice. For the remainder of the group, and then Red Star can do whatever they want, I guess. Yeah, and I think Champions League normally you'd say about 13, 14 points is guarantee that you're going through. So I mean Liverpool very much on the way to that. Oh, 100%. And we're never losing a game again, Mikey.
We couldn't have started better.
We're never drawing a game again.
It was really infuriating for about 30 seconds of my life when Mbappe decided to celebrate in front of the cop for his goal.
Yeah. I think he's going to regret that one day.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I like the confidence, though. If he was a Liverpool player, I'd be absolutely over the moon.
Of course, yeah.
If he was a Liverpool player doing that to the PSG fans, you'd be fucking made up, wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? So, and for the greatest debut of all time, Fabinho comes on off the bench.
Comes on, immediately gets a yellow card.
Lucas foul in a massive.
It was beautiful
tribute to Lucas Leiva. It was fantastic.
It's just Lucas but taller.
He literally kicked off and he just goes nope and drags him back, and it's fucking brilliant. I look forward to more of that tomorrow. I
hope we see him start.
But we'll get to that. So we've already covered our man of the matches for that. It's just such a. I mean, we've only done like 12 minutes on that, but it's such a massive game. It's such a massive statement from Liverpool as well. To start, not to start, but to continue this fucking month of horror, as it's referred to. Do you know what I mean? To carry on with that. I mean, people were flagging up PSG as the game you'd want to. If you could choose to lose one, it'd be PSG, and Liverpool just went, no, we're the better team in this group. We're just going to put them to bed instead. And then I suppose we see a little bit of fallout from the PSG result in the Southampton performance as well, because Liverpool's intensity for the first half is great. And then second half, Liverpool just go, right, okay, we're in control of this game now, and we're just going to see it through.
Yeah, it's game management. Like we are going to win all these 7 games from hell, but we do need to manage them.
Yeah.
Why so many people are fuming about Shaqiri going off at half time and thinking, what's that going to do to the guy's confidence? Like, it's just game management. Klopp's easing Shaqiri in, much like he did with Oxlade-Chamberlain. And we've got a lot of games coming up. Everyone's going to get their game time. And obviously you need to manage the intensity that we play at. Second half, I really, really enjoyed the second half. The players were relaxed. I was relaxed. It was a lovely, boring 3-0 win.
Yeah.
I think it was really important to get the third just before half-time, which allowed us to take the foot off the gas in the second half a bit more. I think if it was 2-0, maybe... Shaqiri probably still goes off because I think Klopp wanted to be more defensively sound, but I think maybe we don't take the foot off the gas as much as we did.
I never see the Shaqiri changes going more defensively sound. I saw that as literally Xherdan Shaqiri is going to start against Chelsea tomorrow.
Yeah. And everyone who went off, bar Van Dijk, is going to start.
Tomorrow. Yeah, definitely, and I think. Basically, he had a plan in his head, and the plan was going to be, right, we're going to take Shaqiri off, then we're going to take Fabinho off, and then we're going to take, was it Gini?
Fabinho didn't start.
What? No, sorry, we're going to bring Fabinho on.
Yeah.
Was what I meant to say. Sorry. And then was it Gini last one to come off? Who came
Yes.
off? Yeah. And he basically, I think he just had this in his head where he was just like, right, okay, these are the changes I want to make today, because I want everyone to get the minutes in. And then when Van Dijk goes down, it throws a spanner in the works straight away into that.
Thank God he's okay.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that he'll be back. He'll definitely be back for this weekend, I believe. But I don't think he's back tomorrow. But yeah, he gets to give Shaqiri 45 minutes. I think he would have wanted to give Fabinho half an hour, as we were saying last week.
Yeah.
And he also gets to give Naby Keita 20 minutes. And that is so important to players who aren't playing as often as you'd want them to. So, I mean, you have to remember with Xherdan Shaqiri was at the World Cup with Switzerland.
Yep.
He turned up for pre-season late because of that. I mean, still tried to get there early. But, you know, he's still late back. And then we've gone into this season and he's made cameos. He's not started the game yet. It's his first start. He makes these cameo appearances of, whilst they're impressive, they're not proper minutes that he will need to get up to full fitness.
Yeah.
And Fabinho would probably have been the same had it not been for Van Dijk and Keita as well. So I think the idea was already set in stone for him, regardless of what Liverpool were going to do. And I think Jurgen's very much about that, isn't he? He's not really a fella who changed the game in terms of, if it had been 0-0 at half time, I think Jurgen Klopp still makes that change.
Probably, yeah.
Is what I'm struggling to get out of my mouth there.
Because he's thinking about the season as a whole and this run of games rather than just one game in
and
particular.
This is it. I mean, he's very clever, and if there's one thing he's very good at, it's man management.
Mm-hmm.
And he is very aware that there are players in the squad who, if they're called upon now, might not be able to perform at the top level because they haven't had the minutes that he would want them to have. So I think, you know, looking at what has happened, it obviously forced him to bring Van Dijk off. You can kind of get a clear picture of what he was planning for this game as well, the Chelsea game, which, you know, it's massive, really, isn't it? I mean, the Chelsea game is quietly the League Cup games becoming a little bit more important. I think a lot of people like looking at it as it's just a League Cup game, and we had a conversation about that last week. But I think, as I said to you, it's a marker to lay down straight away and be like, right, okay, Liverpool serious about this season.
It is, and we can't forget that it's against Chelsea,
mm-hmm.
who are one of apparently our two title rivals.
Yeah.
So getting one over on them early, albeit only like 3 or 4 days early, but if we can get one over on them, that would do wonders for the confidence of the squad, of the team, of the fans.
Yeah.
But I'm in agreement. It's going to be an exciting game and quite an important one, I think.
Yeah. I think there's just added importance, just getting to it. But going back to Southampton, I spent the first goal is very unlucky from Southampton point of view. Shaqiri does very well, but I don't really know how it even goes in. But I spent the first 15 minutes of the game, I think, complaining about Joe Matip.
Yeah, me too.
And then he just rises above Vestergaard and puts a header into the top corner and shuts everyone up, really.
He's a very strange player. There was a point where he kept playing 1-2s with Van Dijk, and then a player was closing down the space in between the two of them.
And he still played there.
And he still played the pass to Van Dijk, and it was just so stupid. I know we were going mad. I know half the cop was going mad. It's just annoying to see when we've had Joe Gomez next to Van Dijk for so long.
We've been spoiled
a little bit, yeah, by good centre backs.
Not had many since Carragher retired, I don't think.
Fair play to it. It's a really, really good header for his goal, but I don't understand it. Like, sometimes he'd do some really, really good things, because not long after that,
It was
terrible
before.
pass to Van Dijk. He made a really, really lovely ball over the top to Salah.
Yeah, it was before that, because it was. He literally just played the terrible pass, and I was like, "What the fucking hell are you doing?" And then he gets the ball and just brings it out of the fence, and then pings a 30-yard ball over the top of the defence, and plays Mo Salah in. Absolutely wonderful football. If Virgil van Dijk had done it, I'd still be talking about it now. But I just couldn't work it out where it had come from. Excuse me. I couldn't work out where it had come from. He was bang average for most of the afternoon, and if Southampton had had an actual credible threat up front even, they'd have troubled us through him, I think.
Yeah, possibly. I'm just glad we got through it with him at the back. Hopefully we don't see much of him in like the first team. Or if we do, like, just ease him in. I know you hate the going 3 at the back, bringing him on in the last few minutes.
I fucking despise it. That was the one thing about the starting 11 that made me quietly happy, in the fact that we didn't have to sit through that fucking substitution. It's the one thing that Jurgen Klopp does that I can't get my head around.
Yeah.
It is, it's like when Rafa used to do, like, you know, he'd bring off an attacker for a whole midfielder. That kind of thing to hold the game.
Yeah.
Or Rodgers would, you know, not defend. That kind of thing. You know, that annoying thing where you're just like, what are you doing? You're doing so well.
No, I understand.
In fact, my Brendan Rodgers thing wasn't that it was playing Glenn Johnson every week. That was my thing where I was just like, you're a good manager, but that let you down. And I think I won that one.
Remember the one time he didn't, and he put Chan at right back?
It wasn't one time. He did it a lot. Emre Can had one bad game that season, and it was just the 6-1 against Stoke. And
it was a bad one.
I forgot Emre Can existed until earlier this week, honest to God.
When he started being sexist?
Yeah, when he started being sexist.
What a weirdo.
He really is a pleb. I'm so glad he's out of Liverpool now, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. Don't want that kind of shit here.
Yeah. So Liverpool go 3-0 up through Mo Salah. It's very nearly from Xherdan Shaqiri, though.
I am so good for Shaqiri, because like his 45 minutes was so good. He was everywhere. I describe him as a pest whenever he plays, because he just looks fucking annoying to play against.
Yeah.
He is everywhere. He's so quick. He's so scrappy, I guess. He doesn't give up on the ball easily. It just must be a nightmare for defenders. Yeah. And he's absolutely robbed of his debut goal twice.
Yeah. It's good awareness.
I mean,
Salah.
neither were going in without interference, but still.
Yeah. I mean, it is good awareness from Salah to get there.
It's his striker's instinct, isn't it?
It is coming to the fore, really. He was very unlucky
Dirk
to not
used to
score
do it
more.
all the time.
Yeah, but Mo Salah's a little bit better than Dirk.
Yeah, all right, fine. I'll admit that a little bit.
Fucking hell. Yeah, I mean, he's unlucky to not get more in the game, Salah. But yeah, as we're saying, Shaqiri, it's a very impressive 45 minutes from a player who was playing for Stoke last season.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He was also involved.
But we all knew he was dead good. Like he was by far Stoke's best player.
Yeah, definitely. There was probably a record set. I think Phil Blundell said this on Twitter the other day. There was probably a record set for the first time 2 players relegated from Stoke have been brought on in a Champions League game. Because Choupo-Moting came on for PSG.
Yeah, oh god.
So they've been relegated.
That was
with
weird.
Stoke.
Why did they have him?
They've been relegated with Stoke 4 months ago, and now they're both playing for 2 Champions League teams who are amongst the favourites to win the fucking competition.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It is. Football is a strange game.
It's like with Martinez getting sacked by Everton and then getting the Belgian job. Just falling upwards all the time.
Falling upwards. Very, very good way of looking at it, I think.
Yeah.
Liverpool carry on as well. Another thing from this, Liverpool carry on their record of scoring just before half-time, which is a seriously impressive thing that we've managed to fall into, really.
Yeah.
As you said, the goal before half-time is pretty important. kills the game off. Southampton, no, they haven't got a chance from there really.
100%, yeah.
And for the second half, I mean, there's nothing happens really. Second half, there are 2 shots.
Yeah, I don't think there's a shot until like the 85th minute.
Sorry, there are 4 shots, two on target.
Yeah.
Whereas in the first half, 15. I mean,
yeah, just take the brakes off. Sorry, take the accelerator off.
Yeah, put the brakes on.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, and it's a lovely habit. As I've said, that's 4 games out of the 6 league games now that we've done that in. I'm very, very impressed. Is it 4? No, it's 5 out of the 6, isn't it? That because we scored in the 39th minute as well against Tottenham. So,
yeah. It's only Brighton.
Yeah, so 5 out of the 6, and that's not too bad.
Definitely.
5 out of the 7, if we include PSG. Then why not?
Wow, we scored at the death with PSG.
I suppose last minute of halves
just before a whistle.
I might have a little. I might have a little look at that on the betting going forwards. Just Liverpool to score in the last couple of minutes of a half. Might be worth having a look at.
So you can get that quiffed.
I know, yeah. Oh, don't. I'll brag about that later. I think that was fucking brilliant. Thank you, Quiff. It's not even sponsored. It's not even nearly sponsored, but they give me 170 quid for Lacazette to score any time Arsenal to win. Fucking madness.
Stupid.
Absolutely,
So stupid.
boss. I only put a $5 on it. Fucking boss. Yeah, I mean, we've covered 2 games remarkably quickly there, but Liverpool were just very efficient in the Southampton game in particular. There's not really much to say about it, to be honest.
I thought Wijnaldum was amazing again.
Yeah, you made noises to that effect.
I know, but I watched him and Shaqiri mainly in the first half. I just thought both of them were brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
See, we come from 2 very different schools of thinking then, because whereas you might have been drawn towards the attacking side of those.
Ronaldo's not an attacker.
Well, you know what I mean. He was good going forward.
Yeah.
He looked to create things. Obviously, breaks things up. Never loses the fucking football ever again, apparently. But I was so impressed with Virgil van Dijk.
Oh yeah.
On Saturday. I mean, even more so than I was on Tuesday, because he gets a really shite yellow card on Tuesday. It's not even a yellow really. But it just kind of marred the rest of his game. He couldn't really. I think he wins the ball back for Mbappe's goal if it's not for the yellow card. Yeah, he probably just wipes Neymar out, to be honest. But he was just imperious against Southampton, and if it wasn't for a nudge in the ribs, he's probably my man of the match for the time he's on the pitch. I mean, it's probably Shaqiri, ironically, even though he went off the pitch before Van Dijk. But yeah, I'm running out of things to say about him, to be honest. Virgil van Dijk is my favourite defender that I've seen since Jamie Carragher retired, and there's a strong chance that he's the best defender I've ever seen play for Liverpool Football Club. And that's saying something, because I fucking love Jamie Carragher and Sami Hyypiä. And the solidity Liverpool have with him at the back. I mean, we carried it on when he went off, and it does speak volumes for the confidence going through the team at the moment that we can miss a player like that and not miss him. And Joe Gomez comes on, and Joe Gomez is what he has become. Read my article about him, I love it.
Virgil van Dijk light.
Yeah, he is. He is mini veg. Big veg and mini veg. I'm absolutely made up to have the pair of them. And Liverpool just look really assured throughout both games, really. I know we come very close to drawing the PSG game, but that's their quality really coming through. One thing that was disappointing in the PSG game was probably that PSG kind of... It's disappointing from a football fan point of view, but from a Liverpool fan point of view, it's not, I suppose. They just kind of just were like, right, okay, we're happy with a draw. We're happy with a draw here.
Is that not a massive compliment to us?
Yes, and it is definitely, but this is literally just like the football fan, and you see Liverpool versus Paris Saint-Germain. It's the 2 most potent attack forces in the world, and PSG just fucking stagnated because they were scared of Liverpool. It's a massive compliment, and I'm absolutely delighted that we're back to that point where teams are having to change how they play to come up against us. And well done to Jurgen, I guess. If they had someone more disciplined than Neymar at left wing, we probably don't win that game. Because Trent Alexander-Arnold had the freedom of Anfield.
He really did.
On Tuesday. I know I'm coming back to the game, but...
Which is why Virgil just got to be able to pass to him so much. It was just ridiculous. I don't know what Tuchel's doing with him. Can he not manage Neymar?
I don't think he's manageable, to be honest. No. I think his ego's too big.
Because I know we leave Salah up, but like we leave him up in like a striker's position, and Bobby and Mane work back a lot. And even then, Salah still comes back and works.
He comes back and gives the ball away for this.
Well, yeah, definitely. But I can't remember Neymar working properly backwards at all.
Yeah, it is really strange, to be fair. I think he comes back briefly for corners and stuff like that, but that's it, really. Yeah. It's not really much else there. I mean, I'm delighted I got the chance to watch him and watch him be shit. If that makes sense.
That's always the best.
Yeah,
I can't wait to watch Messi and watch him be shite.
Yeah. No, that's not happening. He's
in the final against us.
He's the best. He's the best.
Nah.
He's the best of all time. So man of the match for Southampton. You said Wijnaldum, I guess, didn't you?
I think I'll give it Shaqiri, you know.
Yeah.
Because his 45 minutes were just so good.
Fine.
And he didn't get his debut goal, so he's getting man of the match from me.
Sound. I'm going to continue my trend of picking someone different from you every week, and I'm going to go with Mo Salah.
Sam,
he works so hard.
Yeah, he keeps doing all the right things, and I'm so happy that he got a goal.
The mini drought he's on. For somehow it's a drought. He's
3 goals, 2 assists.
He's got the same amount of goals this season as he had at the same point last season.
Yeah,
he's fine.
He's fine.
Mo's gonna get fucking 40 or 50 this season. He just is because he's the best.
Oh, one quick thing before we move on.
Yep.
Alisson had fuck all to do all game.
Great save.
And in the 90th minute made a great save.
Yeah. Sign of a good goalkeeper.
Yes.
And it is such a shame that on tomorrow night's game, he will be replaced by a fucking idiot.
I was so gutted when my mate at work told me that today. He was like, Mignolet's starting. Like, you're fucking not.
Yeah, that's probably the nice segue onto the Chelsea game. I know we've spoke about it briefly already, but that was with Southampton in mind. Let's talk about Chelsea. Chelsea tomorrow night in the League Cup. Liverpool traditionally much better in the League Cup than pretty much everyone, really. How do you see it panning out?
I see it as an interesting one because I know we're going to make at least a few changes. I know Klopp in his press conference today said Mignolet's coming in. There won't be 0 changes. There won't be 11 changes, but it will be a good team. So I'm assuming. Well, we're all assuming Shaqiri is going to start. We're assuming Sturridge is going to start.
Mm-hmm. Solanke's been declared fit.
Solanke's back fit. Lovren apparently is good.
So what I'm expecting is, and I guess I'll whittle off an 11.
Yeah.
I'm expecting Mignolet in goal, Klein right back, Matip and Lovren in the centre, with Moreno left back. I'm expecting Fabinho to be sitting.
Yep.
Hoping.
Keita coming back in, and I assume that means we're probably going to see Wijnaldum. I would assume Wijnaldum because he came off.
I want to see us play Curtis Jones because I want to see him play.
Yeah.
But I can't see Jurgen Klopp starting 3 players who are unfamiliar to playing for Liverpool. Do you know what I mean?
And I think of all the midfielders so far, Wijnaldum's proven himself to be the one who can marshal that midfield at the minute.
And he gets a break as well.
Yeah.
As a result of it. So I think that would probably be the smart one. It gives Henderson a break. It probably gives Milner a break until he comes on, because he always does. Yeah. And then we're probably looking up front at Sturridge, some form of Sturridge, Solanke and Shaqiri.
Yep.
SSS.
I'd be very, very happy with that.
I would probably expect a diamond.
Yeah. So first half we did play kind of a diamond with Shaqiri at the tip of it.
Is that maybe why we play that? That with Shaqiri like that, rather than him resting Mane or Salah, because it gives Shaqiri a chance to show what he can do in that free role in front of the midfield. I guess.
Yeah,
might just be interesting to see what we do. But I think that's pretty much nailed on to be some form of starting 11. I guess there.
But like that 11 we just rattled off. There's 7-8 changes in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a really good team.
Well, I mean, you look at them. I mean,
that's better than the team we had in like 15-16.
That back five is the back five that we had for Jurgen's second season.
Yeah.
I mean, the midfield is worth, if we're saying it's Fabinho, Wijnaldum and Keita, the midfield's worth over 100 million quid.
This is true.
And probably
120.
Yeah, it's about 120, 130 instead, isn't it? And then, there's Shaqiri, Sturridge, two of the most experienced players that you could ever really want, even at their ages. They're not old, either of them. And then you've got Dom Solanke, who we are told is very promising, and he's got a point to prove against Chelsea as well.
Definitely, yeah.
I think Chelsea are interesting as well because I've not been impressed with them as much this season as I was, as the results would say.
Yeah.
The results, I mean, have been incredible so far this season. In terms of the fact that they've got five wins and one draw, no losses.
Yeah.
With a new manager coming in, with a new style of play.
After how dire it was last season as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean. I'm under no illusions. Chelsea have played no one so far. They played West Ham on the weekend, and West Ham very, very, very nearly beat them.
And West Ham are shit. We showed that.
I mean, I'm not responding to that. West Ham are, surely, at this point now, they're coming good again.
They've got one win and a draw. We'll see.
Very good performances in both, though. But we're not talking about West Ham, we're talking about Liverpool. I think the interesting thing for me with Chelsea is that we're hearing that, Sarri, it's going to take a while for the players to get used to how he sets up. That may be true of the first team players, but what about the reserves who aren't even getting the minutes to try the new style of football? Do you know what I mean? Like, what about Gary Cahill, who made his first minutes for Sarri on the weekends when
or Drinkwater or Barkley?
Exactly. I mean, well, Ross Barkley's played minutes this season and he's looked all right, to be fair to him. But if he changes and goes wholesale changes, then Liverpool can take advantage of the fact that these aren't players who are used to playing this kind of football at all. These are players who were last season, playing under Antonio Conte instead, and they were playing a lot more defensively. So maybe, I mean, I think there's plenty here for Liverpool to be very excited about, no matter who's playing for us, really.
Do you think they make wholesale changes though? Or do you think they go strong?
I don't see how they can go as strong as we can, to be honest. They've got a very good squad. Chelsea,
I don't think it's as good as ours.
I mean, there's an argument for it and there's an argument against it, I guess. But I mean, they played last Thursday. They played on Sunday. Two very high intensity games. They already rotated last week for the Europa League. If he's rotating for the Europa League, it wasn't like massive changes, but if he's rotating for the Europa League, he's going to rotate for the League Cup as well. I'm not. Maybe when I say wholesale changes, I'm not expecting a different 11. But for example, I wouldn't be surprised if Rob Green starts in goal. That kind of change. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we're playing our idiot, so
yeah. Fucking. I can't believe he's back.
Yeah.
I was so nearly free of him forever. But yeah, I just think, I mean, looking at the bench that they had the other day, Caballero will be the goalkeeper, actually, not Green. I forgot about him completely. Gary Cahill comes off the bench, Ross Barkley comes off the bench, Fabregas is on the bench, Morata comes off the bench, Victor Moses, Zappacosta, Pedro's missing, Van Ginkel's missing, Emerson. There's enough there, and then there's enough players there. They
can stick a decent second string 11 out.
It's going to be an entertaining game for reserve football. Do you know what I mean? It's not your classic Liverpool reserves, is it? Where we're fucking going back to the Rafa Benitez days of Darren Potter playing behind fucking Florence Cinema Pongo. We aren't at that point. The likes of Martin Kelly, Jay Spear, and Stephen Darby, who I should mention as well. Stephen Darby, it's absolutely terrible news, and we wish him very well.
It really is, yeah.
Because I'm very good mates with one of his cousins, and we're talking about it this week. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Good luck, Stephen. Back to Liverpool anyway. You were saying last week about how this is the game that you would choose.
If I had to pick one, I probably would still pick this.
Yeah.
Because I just think the league is so important.
I would now, out of the remaining 4 games, I would probably agree with you, but I'd just rather not lose.
Oh, yeah, of course. We're never losing a game again, so it's fine.
I'm a big fan of. If it does happen, it will be fully Simon Mignolet's fault. Because Alisson's won every game he's been in goal for. As we left match of the day on now, and we see Liverpool top of the Premier League. Lovely. 2 points clear. That's great. But it's the League Cup game is interesting, but the league game this weekend, that's got a bit of taste to it now.
It's the first game between the title rivals, because we played Spurs, but Spurs are nothing. Chelsea played Arsenal, but Arsenal are nothing.
Hey, they won me 170 quid.
They did win you. Alright, fine, they're good for you. But they're not title challengers. This is the first proper one, and then the week after we've got City, so we've got 2 on the bounce. Mm-hmm. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens if we blink or if Sarri blinks. If Chelsea sacrifice the way they're going to play to try and contain us, or if vice versa. Personally, I don't believe either will. I think both managers like their attack-minded football and are more bothered about getting that right rather than worrying about what the opposition are going to do. Because we showed that against PSG. We played our game, played it narrow in midfield and forced them to change.
I think Liverpool definitely agree with you. But I think the way Liverpool play already lends itself to being very well set up to deal with whatever Chelsea can throw forward.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
We've seen already. We've sort of dealt with PSG's front line. Obviously, they still get a goal through one of the front 3, but they were quiet. I don't expect Eden Hazard to be as quiet as Neymar was, for example. He loves a fucking good game against Liverpool.
He actually works hard, and he does like playing Anfield, to be fair, doesn't he?
Well, the league game.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah. Well, he likes playing against us.
Yeah, he likes playing against Liverpool. It's an interesting one because I don't think Chelsea is settled defensively as it is anyway. And then you have Rudiger dropping out and Kale coming back in instead. And all of a sudden, you're seeing Salah, Firmino, Mane, maybe by their incredibly high standards, maybe they haven't quite reached them yet. But against the defence who aren't quite at their level yet, it's quite an interesting
especially if
matchup.
it's up against Gary Cahill, who's a fucking donkey, and Alonso on the left, who can't defend. Very, very much looking forward to our front 3 going against them. I think we said it from the get-go, from the Arsenal game. Defensively, they look leaky as hell, playing such a high line with such a new brand of football. Attacking-wise, they're doing great. They've scored as many goals as us, 14, I think.
I think so.
But it's just they can let in goals much more than we can, I think. I think their style of play lends itself to letting in goals more than ours does.
Yeah, and I think, Sarri's comments about being a year behind Liverpool are quite interesting to that end as well. Because I think what he probably does mean by that is Liverpool a year ago were not as defensively sound as we are now by any stretch. We were just coming into it now, do you know what I mean? We were just coming into this important stretch that we're still on now, to be fair, stretching over a year. And And I think maybe he's looking at that in terms of, their progress. Liverpool win by far not the finished article. And now we're looking apart. We're looking like the team that people seem to have forgotten about Man City. I'm not saying something like the press aren't going as mad for Man City as they were last year. They're talking about Liverpool.
Yeah.
And they're right to be fair, because we are fucking boss of footy.
We haven't not won a game yet.
We haven't not won a game yet. And 2 games against Chelsea this week to carry that on. More than confident going into both of them. I really, I mean, I agree. I'd rather, if we're going to lose one, let's lose the League Cup game, fine. But I would love to come out of this with 2 wins over Chelsea. Chelsea out of the League Cup, 5 points off the pace in the title race already. And when they haven't really played anyone yet, so they've still got their big games to come up as well. They're going to fall away at some point, I would expect. I would hope. We've already mentioned them briefly there, but Eden Hazard. Is it interesting to you the freedom he's getting now under Sarri?
He's been released a bit more than he has under previous managers, I guess. Under Mourinho, he had a very strict thing that he had to do.
No passing past the halfway line, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. I think people exaggerate how defensive Conte was. I think Hazard did have quite a lot of freedom, especially in the second half of the season when he kind of moved more into the middle, when they switched to 3 at the back and he got to play as the 10 a bit more. Obviously now with a much faster style of play under Sarri, maybe he's benefiting from that. I don't think he's going to hit Mane, Firmino, Salah heights of goal scoring. Well, definitely not Salah, but not even Mane, I don't think.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's consistent enough. Like, he has scored quite a few goals recently. Blanked against West Ham, who again are crap. Sorry, Mikey.
It's all right. I'm not even bothered about it. It's just the fact that, like I said at the start of the season, that they do well.
I know.
They're finally starting to do well, and you will see. You will see. Obviously, other than us playing against Chelsea twice this week, the reason I bring up about Eden Hazard is the FIFA Pro World 11 came out today.
That whole thing is
yesterday.
Stupid.
He makes it in over Mo Salah.
Yeah.
Who then finishes third best player in the world.
Yeah.
How?
I don't know. Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne didn't make it in.
Yeah, Kante did.
Yeah.
Madness. I thought Kante was.
Dani Alves for some reason makes it in at right back.
Over Kyle Walker, over Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
Probably deserves that.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Like Salah wins the goal of the year. But it was nowhere near even his best goal of the year. It was nowhere near even Liverpool's best goal of the year.
That's a fun thing that we can talk about for a little bit, I think. So let's name some goals that Liverpool scored last season that were better than Mo Salah's Puskas winning entry.
Mo Salah's 4th against Watford.
Yes, Mo Salah's third against Watford. His 4th was the tap-in from when he tried to set up Danny Ings.
And that's what I mean. No, I do mean the third.
Is Kehler against Southampton, which is the exact same goal, only further out.
Either of his against City.
Is that in Champions League? The chip over Ederson?
Yep.
That's probably better as well.
Yep.
His goal against Roma, the first one, that's really, really good.
I'd say a second one too, maybe.
Going through, I can see that. From a team.
I just don't think that Everton goal was that good.
Yeah.
It was a
It's
good
Tottenham goal.
Oh God, yeah, the Tottenham goal that should have won that game.
It's Tottenham goal. I mean, James Milner.
Oh, we loved his Tottenham goal.
James Milner made a joke about it, didn't he? On
yeah.
What's it called? On
So glad to see your seventh best goal of the season, winning best goal of the season.
And let's look away from Mo Salah at some goals that were better. In fact, one more as well I haven't even mentioned. His goal against Porto, where he just fucking juggles the ball over the goalkeeper.
Oh God, yeah, that was hideous.
That's incredible. Let's mention some non-Mo Salah goals that were better.
West Ham.
What one?
Volley away at theirs.
Volley?
Pretty sure it was volley.
You mean the one against Stoke?
No. Alright, fine, Stoke, whatever.
I think it's Stoke.
I'm sure he scored against West Ham as well. And it was a cracker.
Didn't he run clear with Mane? And then Mane squares it to him. Hashtag Mane unselfish. Oh, I'm enjoying this so much. The Mane unselfish business.
Well, you need a new thing now that Gini Ronaldo scored the away goal.
To be fair, hashtag Mane unselfish. Get on me. I mean, Mane away at Porto, that's better. Mane at home to Arsenal, that's better. When he cuts in field and bends it into the far corner.
Yeah. Salah at Arsenal. Well, against Arsenal, that's us. Loved that goal.
Firmino against City. Where he pushes Stones off the ball and just chips the keeper.
Yeah. Oh, serious. This has just come to us like reciting a list again.
Yeah. Mane against City as well, to be fair. Mane against City was my favourite goal last season, I think. The third goal, just from the reaction in the stadium, because it came so quickly after Firmino's. Yep. And it was just...
Oxlade-Chamberlain against City.
Oxlade-Chamberlain against City. There we go. That's it. I should have won the Puskas award.
We found it. An absolute thunder bastard.
Yeah. We'll put that over the goal that Gareth Bale scored past us in the Champions League final.
Hey, we were talking about Liverpool goals.
We were talking about Liverpool goals. That is a very, very good
If we're going to talk about Liverpool goals in that Champions League final, carry us. Great goal.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
So away from Liverpool this weekend, we'll have a little look elsewhere, shall we, as we always seem to. So, the rest of Saturday's games, Fulham, Watford, 1-1. Watford, how the fucking hell they drawn that game, I don't know.
It was weird.
It was so strange. Should have had a penalty, Fulham should have been down to 10 men. It was really... It's really poor from Watford, but to be fair play to Fulham and Mitrovic for holding on.
If Fulham defend like that against Everton next week, Everton might actually get a win. Or at least, score a goal.
I mean, well, not if Fulham's keeper fucking plays like that.
True.
To be fair, one of the more surprising results of the weekend somehow, Burnley 4, Bournemouth 0. Where the fuck did that come from?
Burnley were fucking crap a week ago. I don't know what happened.
Yep. I mean, Bournemouth were clear favourites for it. Bournemouth started the season really well. Burnley haven't fucking kicked the ball in anger, really. And then all of a sudden they put 4 past Bournemouth. And it's a wake-up call for both teams, I guess, where you just turn around and you're just like, actually, Burnley, you know what? When they fancy it, they are still a good team. And Bournemouth... it's a crashing back down to earth kind of result, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fair play to Sean Dyche for it, because Dyche, even, not Dyche. That's me with Virgil van Dijk just living in my brain. Fair play to Sean Dyche for one hell of a result there, really. Cardiff 0, Man City 5. Any surprises?
Yeah, who'd have saw that coming? Although Aguero got an away goal, which he hasn't done since, I think it was December 2017, something stupid like that.
Canal?
Yeah. Obviously, he spent a lot of that time injured as well, but still, that's quite a long time to go without an away goal, and he's finally brought that duck, which,
bad news
is
for
not
us,
good
really.
for us.
Yep. Riyad Mahrez gets 2 as well. His second one's really impressive, to be fair. Lovely finish into the far corner. I said last week I don't fancy Cardiff to ever win a game of football, and I'm standing by that.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
Another team who don't look like winning a game of football lately is Newcastle. They drew 0-0 away at Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I'd have thought Palace would win that, to be honest. But
I believe both teams defended very well, is what I'm told. The stats say Palace absolutely battered Newcastle.
That sounds about right.
In normal seasons, it's a good point, but it looks bad because of the start that Newcastle have had.
Yeah.
I feel a bit bad for them, really, but one of them. Leicester 3, Huddersfield 1. They're another team who can't fucking seem to pick up a win from anywhere.
Yeah, it's true. Although we've got... So I think they've got us and City soon, but then after that Burnley, who... could be the Burnley from this weekend and absolutely battle Huddersfield, or they could be the Burnley from a couple of weekends ago when they were just shite. And then Huddersfield might be able to get the win.
Yeah. So they've got Tottenham.
Sorry.
Yes, they've got Tottenham home, then Burnley away, then us, then they have to.
Yeah,
win
they've
some
already
games,
played City, sorry, haven't they?
Yeah, they have to win some games there. They played them first weekend, didn't they?
Yeah.
Lost 6-1, something like that.
A lot.
A lot. Liverpool won 3-0. It's always good.
Oh, yes.
United Wolves. It's a 1-1. Wolves deserved more from that game. They really did, and their attacking threat is just getting like more and more pronounced as the season goes on. David De Gea again, I'm not fucking talking about him anymore. Prick.
Just fuck off so we can like you.
Really, please just fuck off so we can like you. It's really funny that Alexis Sanchez gets taken off in the 63rd minute because he's fucking crap at football.
Yeah, it's quite a fall from grace, isn't it?
It really is, because I wanted them in January. I think everyone did. It was only when you saw the wages you were like, nope, don't want anything to do with him.
But do you think it's down to him, or do you think it's down to Mourinho as well? Like, especially with Pogba's comments over the weekend saying that we should be attacking. This is Old Trafford. We should be attack. I can't tell you why we're not doing this. I'm just a player. I'm not the manager. Stuff like that.
I mean, Paul Pogba really needs to stop trying to get Jose Mourinho's job.
Have you seen what Mourinho's come out and done now?
No.
He's told the United dressing room that he will never be captain again, because he's not captain material and doesn't respect United enough.
In all fairness,
and he wants to show him that no one is bigger than the club.
In all fairness, I mean, that's probably right.
Yeah.
To do that, because Paul Pogba does have this kind of attitude problem, and we were speaking about Neymar earlier, who has that same kind of thing, and Pogba's not been good enough this year to be sitting there fucking wagging his tongue about this and that. He needs to get his head down and concentrate on his football and prove that he's worth £90 million. And at the moment, I wouldn't have even nearly paid that for him.
No.
I mean, it sounds ridiculous to be saying that about a £90 million player, that I wouldn't have paid that for him, because you could say that about a lot of people at that kind of price range. It's ridiculous money. But Virgil van Dijk's worth 75 million quid to Liverpool. He just is in what football is.
Pogba's just a dabbing Ojo.
Ejaria.
Fine.
Yeah. I'm just made up to see United do badly, really.
It does stink of Mourinho's maybe losing the dressing room already. This third season's going to be great, isn't it?
Well, they're 8 points off the pace, off of us even. They're 3 points off of the top four already.
That's a lot after 6 games.
It is. You don't kind of appreciate that, how big a gap that is. I mean, to put it into context, West Ham, who've had an abysmal start to the season, as you've said, sat on 4 points at the moment. That's 6 points away from United.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, West Ham are closer to United than United are to United. To bottom is 8 points. So United are literally just
mid-table,
sat right bang in the middle. They might be 7th, but they're sat right bang in the middle of everything. It's really good. I love it. Yeah, it's my favourite thing.
It's the best of it.
Yeah. Brighton 1, Tottenham 2. Brighton. They missed so many chances.
They seem to be able to cut Spurs open like at will.
Yeah. I'm not talking about it because I can't be asked. I fucking hate Harry Kane though. West Ham Chelsea, as I've already said, West Ham had chances. West Ham could have won that game. Yarmolenko misses a fucking sitter in the last minute. It really should score.
But Chelsea dropping points, sending us up outright.
Yeah, up clear. Which is great, and it just highlights how well we've done at the start of the season, really. And then Arsenal 2, Everton 0. Thank you very much, Lacazette. It's a fucking stunning goal, by the way.
It really, really is. But to be fair, all you need to do to get it past Pickford is just put it out of reach of his little arms. Just keep aiming for the corners. You're going to score against them. The second goal's dead offside, and apparently Everton were much the better team apart from those 2 goals. But one of them innit. Yeah. We don't have a decent striker, so we didn't score any goals.
Yeah, I think that's pretty well summed up there.
Well, that's what the Blues in work were saying today.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, they were. They're not wrong. You know, they had chances there, and they could have.
They're not quite silver out yet, but I think they're getting a bit nervous.
Yeah, there's a lot. According to a couple of Evertonians, there's a lot riding on them. I don't know what.
I don't. Yeah, the stadium maybe.
Maybe. Fuck knows. Who knows? We've just hit the hour mark there, and I think we're running out of things to talk about now. So I think we wrap up there. Considering how busy a week it's been, that's been quite surprisingly a quiet one. But Liverpool don't need us to talk words about them. Really, they did plenty of talking on the pitch anyway. Thank you very much for listening. If you could like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Podcast Addicts, Podbean, thanks. WordPress, because I did promise we'd write more stuff. And
yeah, Mikey's wrote a belter about Joe Gomez. It's really, really good.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I will get around to writing one. I just need to remember how to write.
No, that's fair. It's literally, I mean, you saw me. I was sat here last Friday just like, right, okay, I will write something. Yeah.
While I was sat there playing Spider-Man, it was Boss.
But yeah, follow us on WordPress for more kind of stuff like that. We will get round to doing more of it, we promise. We will get round to doing this on time at some point next week as well.
Yeah, do apologise, my fault.
No, it's alright. Yep, thank you very much for listening. That's been this week's The Story of a Poor Boy.
Cheers, guys.